Saturday mornings used to be special. Kids would wake up early, grab their cereal, and plop down in front of the television. For hours they would be transported to worlds of adventure, comedy, and imagination. Saturday morning cartoons were a ritual. They were a shared experience for generations of children. These cartoons weren't just entertainment, they were a cultural touchstone. Everyone knew about Bugs Bunny, Scooby-Doo, and the Smurfs. These characters taught us about friendship, problem-solving, and the importance of being yourself. They were our companions, our role models, and our friends. But like all good things, this era eventually came to an end. The year was 2014. The landscape of children's television was changing and Saturday morning cartoons were fading away. What happened? One major factor was the rise of cable television. In the past, families had limited channel options. This meant that everyone watched the same shows, including cartoons, on Saturday mornings. But with cable, suddenly there were hundreds of channels to choose from. Cable offered something network television couldn't: specialized programming. Cartoon Network, Nickelodeon, and the Disney Channel emerged, airing cartoons 24/7. Kids no longer had to wait for Saturday to get their fix. They could watch their favorite shows anytime they wanted. This abundance of choice meant that network television, including those iconic Saturday morning cartoons, was losing viewers. Kids were no longer glued to their sets at a specific time. The old way of watching TV was becoming obsolete. If cable television started the decline, streaming services were the final blow. Services like Netflix, Hulu, and Amazon Prime Video revolutionized how we consume entertainment. These platforms offered on-demand access to a vast library of shows and movies, including children's content. Parents loved the control streaming services offered. They could choose what their kids watched and when they watched it. No more worrying about inappropriate content or commercials. Plus, streaming services were often cheaper than cable. With streaming, the idea of scheduling specific programming for a particular day of the week became irrelevant. Children could watch their favorite cartoons whenever they wanted, wherever they wanted. The traditional model of Saturday morning cartoons was simply no longer viable. The decline of Saturday morning cartoons wasn't just a general trend, it had specific casualties. One of the most notable was NBC Kids, a programming block that aired on Saturday mornings on NBC. NBC Kids featured a variety of preschool-oriented shows such as The Wiggles and Yo Gabba Gabba. These shows were popular with younger children and their parents. They were educational, entertaining, and age-appropriate. However, even NBC Kids couldn't withstand the changing tides. In 2014, NBC made the difficult decision to discontinue the block. The reasons were clear: declining viewership, the rise of streaming services, and the increasing popularity of cable channels dedicated to children's programming. Section 5, The Changing Landscape: How Kids Watch TV Now. The end of Saturday morning cartoons is a reflection of a larger trend in television. The way children consume entertainment has fundamentally changed. They are no longer tied to a specific time or place. Today's kids are digital natives. They grew up with smartphones, tablets, and on-demand entertainment. They're used to having the world at their fingertips. If they want to watch a cartoon, they can do so instantly, anywhere, anytime. This shift has had a profound impact on the television industry. Networks are struggling to adapt to a world where viewers, especially young viewers, are increasingly turning to streaming services and on-demand content. Section 6. The End of an Era, saying goodbye to Saturday morning cartoons. The demise of Saturday morning cartoons marks the end of an era. It's a bittersweet moment for those of us who grew up with these shows. We remember the excitement of waking up early, the anticipation of seeing our favorite characters, and the joy of sharing those experiences with our families. But while we may mourn the loss of this tradition, it's important to recognize that the world is changing. Children's viewing habits have evolved, and the television industry has had to adapt. The good news is that children still have access to high-quality entertainment. In fact, they have more choices than ever before. The challenge now is to ensure that this content is educational, engaging, and appropriate for their age group. Section 7. A New World of Content: The Benefits of Streaming. While the end of Saturday morning cartoons may seem like a loss, there are also benefits to this new world of on-demand entertainment. Streaming services offer a wider variety of content, allowing children to explore different genres, cultures, and perspectives. Furthermore, streaming services often provide parental controls, giving parents more say in what their children watch and for how long. This allows for a more curated and age-appropriate viewing experience. The key is for parents to be involved in their children's media consumption. By selecting quality programming and setting healthy viewing habits, parents can ensure that their children benefit from the vast array of content available today. Section 8, the nostalgia factor, remembering the magic. While the way we consume entertainment has changed, the magic of those classic Saturday morning cartoons hasn't faded. Many of these shows are still available on streaming services, allowing older generations to relive their childhoods and share those experiences with their own children. There's a certain nostalgia associated with these shows. They remind us of a simpler time when life moved at a slower pace. The themes of friendship, teamwork, and courage that these cartoons explored are still relevant today. They continue to resonate with audiences of all ages. Section 9. The future of children's entertainment. What's next? The future of children's entertainment is likely to be even more interactive and personalized. Virtual reality, augmented reality, and interactive storytelling are already starting to shape how children experience media. As technology continues to evolve, we can expect to see even more innovative and engaging forms of entertainment emerge. The challenge will be to ensure that this content is not only entertaining, but also educational and beneficial for children's development. One thing is for sure, the world of children's entertainment is constantly changing, but the desire for stories, laughter, and imagination remains timeless.